G'day and welcome to part 37 on the XC restoration. Now in this one we prepare the fuel tank to be painted. What else do we do? Oh, we fix the headlining. There's one little crease left or little gather left which will go away once the grab handles are in. We reassemble the interior. There's nowhere to keep it inside. It was in the study before and there was no room to swing a cat. So I've had to put it back together and stick it in the car for now. It's not ideal. I don't like doing it that way because there's still two doors to put on, or at least prepare to be put on. And look, I can't help it. I'll just keep it covered up and she'll be right. Stick the shockers in and do a few other bits and pieces. So, is there anything else? There probably is. I can't remember. Anyway, hope you enjoy. Oh, Easter lunch. Look, Nea's filming.
No, I'm taking photographs, not filming.
Look at this. I am going to look forward to Easter lunch. Who's a little bunny?
I'm Peter. Nice to meet you. And I like making videos.
It's got my name there. And there's little like eggs. Like
It's
eggs.
my name though.
Yeah.
I'm Peter.
Bird nest.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. And we've got more stuff. We've got a custard tart, lots of eggs, and there are more bunnies and an apple. Yeah.
Are you talking to yourself again?
I am talking to myself. A drink, a daughter, and a wife. Look at this. How I sit. Susie's not well. She can't walk properly. Her knee's gone at the moment. Dutch carrots, asparagus. Don't know what that is. Got sauce. What's this stuff?
It's marmalade and
brown
sugar for the Dutch carrot.
Oh, I see. Pies.
Fries.
Oh, fries. These are good, and this is what we do. That's a salmon steak, and we put this lovely sauce on, and then we also have caviar.
Don't include yourself. You don't do anything.
Yeah, this is we do.
Caviar? Is that caviar? Is this caviar? Yeah, eggs.
Oh, if he lasts the distance, that's funny.
Who?
We're talking
Me?
about Married at First Sight.
Oh. Why would you get married to someone you haven't seen before? This is dumb.
Because I'd get paid.
Who's a lovely bunny?
Don't. You're being weird.
I am weird though. Haven't you met me? What's the smearing potato for?
I don't know.
No, just adopt.
I'm just so happy I raised you to be able to cook like this.
You didn't. You were in the garage.
Yeah, I'm cooking up a storm with cars. I can't include that, can I?
With Dave.
Dave's my friend. Asparagus. My goodness me. Why do you watch My Kitchen Rules when you absolutely shun them?
We don't.
We
It's
don't
a shit
watch
show.
it. We don't watch kitchen rules.
Kitchen
Because
sucks.
they just
Give,
make crap.
Rosie.
You guys do so much better. It's just ridiculous. I would entertain Gordon Ramsay at this house.
Rosie, the one without a spoon.
Hold on, how am I going to put this on?
Just
Spoon
do-
on the fish.
the corner.
Oh, on the corner. Oh.
Which one's mine? Because I'll put more hollandaise sauce on.
Choose one.
Can I have the one without the asparagus?
Yep.
It doesn't matter. You can just leave the asparagus to the side. Now you buried the friggin' caviar.
I'll have that one then.
Yum, Laurent. It's called Monte Carlo. Oh, it looks like Monte Diabetes. What a cracking looking cake that is. Fuel tank. This is the fuel tank out of the Fairmont, which I've commandeered for this car. Bit of surface rust, nothing much to worry about. Bit of oxidising around here and here. The wire brush that off and have a look. This car is 1976 or 77, but they started making these in 76 and they had evaporative emissions. So there's a whole bunch of plumbing in there to take vapour out, which goes through a charcoal canister. Nice and clean inside. Spare wheel well. This car was originally equipped with a long range tank. And so what they had was a very shallow rebate there with a wooden filler. And the mat just went over the top and the spare wheel sort of fitted in the boot or trunk area up on top, and there's a bracket on the bulkhead which I'll show you later. So we're just cleaning this off and we're going to paint it and fit it in the car. Now I've started cleaning around there It doesn't smell of anything. You can see a slight white residue in there. I'll get a light and I'll shine in there. We're going to get all this off down here. I'm just going to flick it over and have a look. So I'm just using a wire wheel on a drill just to get rid of some of that dirt. The ideal thing for this would be a stone shield type finish. I want it painted silver. I got a new tank in the XW and I actually like the idea, or like the look of a nice bright silver tank hanging out from underneath. This is just a wire wheel. I'll turn this around the other way. Get it all off. After we've done that, we'll wash it down with Parcel and Scotch Spray and edge prime it. So I'm just going to continue with this because it's boring. And we'll turn the camera on in a moment. You can see this was originally sort of deadened with the tar type stuff. I want to get that off. I can't paint over that. So it's just a matter of persevering. Just to get it down to metal. Another thing with these are really cheap. These are $15 for a set of 4 or something at the local hardware. We can just reverse it because they do lay over, and in the opposite direction it'll be much more sort of coarse because you're going against it then. See? So it comes off fairly easy. Most of it off. There's just bits of residue there. Still got odds and ends of, what do you call it? The sun's out periodically, so it's sort of, here you get black, what do you call it? The tank's getting really hot, so the thinner will evaporate really quickly. I've got a rag. Just need to go and get a rag. Hang on a sec. So I'll just go in and get the rest of it off, or as much as practical. And then once we sort of rag that off, we'll be down to something. Obviously washed a bit more, down to something we can edge prime. There is some surface rust in this area down here. Can we see? Down there. I'll hit that with some phosphoric, I think. I don't want to go too hard on it because I don't want to thin it out, you know what I mean? So I'll just continue cleaning. Well, it's not spotless, but it's not a bad start. It's mostly clean. Not too bad. I'm just going to flick it over. I'll start on this side here. Some moisture sitting in there. I just want to get the drill and just see. Just having a really close look at the magnifying glass, make sure there's no sort of holes or anything like that. So I'm just going to clean this side up now. Another foot. Sometimes it's like when you have a mug that's cracked and you hit it, it doesn't ring. I did that. I can hear something loose. I thought it might have come open the spot welds, but it's just that little nut for the spare wheel. Those sorts of noises always sort of alarm me a bit. One of the things I'm worried about are these spot welds here. There was like a oxidisation around them, not rust, it was like white oxidisation. I'm just wondering whether I should solder those. It'll be for a baffle or something to that effect. Everything looks fairly okay. And also there's this surface rust in here. It all looks fairly good. I'd like to pressurise the tank a bit and just spray some soapy water around these sorts of areas to see if they bubble, but I'm not sure how to pressurise it. I've got to put the sender in, but then if I'm going to paint it, I've got to take it out, and I don't want to use a new seal. I think what we'll do, we'll just put a bit of phosphoric on these sorts of areas, clean it up as best we can, and just fingers crossed, we'll paint it. It didn't leak in the car. It had probably between 1/8 and 1/4 of a tank of petrol in when we took it out. There were no leaks that I could see. But this is the problem with having a boot mat where you have a boot that leaks, or a trunk that leaks, because the moisture can't get away and it starts eating stuff away. So, what does this remind you of? I think I put sugar in here and make fairy floss. G'day and welcome. We're revisiting the XC restoration here, in particular the headlining, and I wasn't happy with how this was. I've got it pretty well sussed. I've got to put these lights in here. I've got a dirty mark there, but that's going to pull every wrinkle out of that, I reckon. Once I've got that, I've got to pull that down at the bottom there and get a hairdryer onto it. Some people suggested that. I knew about that anyhow, and I'm just going to pop it down there and put the parcel tray in. I reckon that's going to sort it. I reckon that's cool. It's all right to have a couple of little wrinkles. Generally speaking, if the thing's taut, they're going to come out anyway. That side's not as good. We've got to go around that again. But I want to get this sorted out because today I want to do the fuel, what do you call it? Not the fuel tank, the parcel tray, and then fill the rear axle, put some rear shocks in. Once I've done that, I haven't got the sway bar on yet, but I'm not worried about that at the moment. I can then put the fuel tank in because we've been working on that as well. Right, well, I think I'm all right. Let me just... I've got to light all the wrinkles out. And you know what? I've spent half an hour fiddling with this because I think I just needed a fresh approach. Now, there's a couple of problems. We've still got to gather up here. I'm going to muck around with that. I don't know what I can do. Maybe iron it out. It was gathered in the pack where these are all straight. I'm wondering if it was a problem with the way it was stitched. Don't know. When we put the seat in, we're going to pull a lot of this sort of stuff out. There's a wrinkle there, and the seat comes up here and yanks on it like that. So I reckon that's going to be good. I'm actually really happy with that. Same on this side. The seat's going to pull that. Interior light's going to pull it as well. I've ended up taking a lot of extra out the back. But that's all right. I mean, I'm prepared to accept where it is so far because I'm actually happy with it. I don't see any problem with labouring any further. So some of this, for example, I can pull down and stick there, and the parcel tray is going to come in. I haven't done that well because I'm doing it with one hand. Hang on a second, as I yank it over in this way. There we go. Now it's got it there. We'll see. I can fiddle with that. I just don't care about it because I reckon the seat is going to push on there. The seat's quite high. At least it's a little bit higher than that shelf there. So I think we've won. I think we've really won. I'll pop these lights in and we'll take a look then. Right, well, I really wanted to paint the fuel tank today. I used a bit of phosphoric acid on it and it's just still tacky. So I cannot etch prime it today. So that's a bit of a bummer, but that's not that bad. I think I've had a win with the headlining and wrap with that. So I want to repair also and I've taken the light out. You can see where I cut it in the wrong spot. I'm going to glue a patch behind there. Where is it? Over there somewhere. But I think in the meantime, I also want to sit the seats in to get them out of the study. So I think we'll have a bit of a look at this thing, the parcel tray. Try and tidy it up. I'm going to paint it. And being masonite, it's going to drink paint, but it's already sealed with something. So I'm just going to dust over there with a bit of primer. And I'll take these speaker grills off. So we'll do that now, I think. And that way, once that's dry, I can sort of put it up here on top of there. I might remove it for when Jeff fits the rear screen, of course, because he's going to be using this lip here and the parcel drive comes there. But at least it gets it into the car, gets it off the bench, so that when the screens go in, it's just a matter of pulling a few things out, putting the screens in, and then putting them in for good. So I think we'll get into that now. Okay. The fuel tank I really want to etch there, but couldn't. I think I just mentioned that, didn't I? Etch primer now is ready to go on. Those rust things, the rusty stains that were there, are now turned black. I've used some phosphoric acid on it, a bit on the outside here, and she's now ready. I just need to make sure that we tape these off, the emissions, ventilation lines, and that sort of thing too. So that's good. I'm very, very happy with that. Provided I haven't knocked it or bashed it too much and it's going to leak, I don't care. I'm also going to tape this off here, just around here, because I want that as bare metal. for the ring on the centre unit to sort of seal against. So we're nearly ready to put the tank in. Once that's in, of course, I'm going to start putting petrol in it, hook up the lines and get the thing going, because it needs a run now. It hasn't been started in 12 months, this engine. So Plymouth's another one we've got to look at as well in that regard. But no, I'm getting excited. This is the parcel train. I spilled Prepsol and it soaked straight into it, which really makes me nervous. I haven't taken the speed nuts off because this is quite fragile, brittle. It's got the original, what do you call it, masonite, or what do you call it, insulation underneath it. So I'm just going to dust a bit of primer on it. I've got this quite thick. I've also got a Flexaid in it. I don't know how this is going to work. We're going to try. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. I'm going to dust it on. Like that. I'm going to come back in a minute. Give it another hit. Oh, you can go a bit heavier with the second coat. And of course, dust a bit of black on the first one and go heavy with the second. You can see the cracks in it though. That'll be concealed under the seat, so we don't care. But other than that, also there, a few imperfections, but better that than something that's not original. If I can use original stuff, I'm just going to. Barely dry, but we're going to run the gauntlet, stick some black on. Ooh. Just dust it, as we did before. It's a bit spattery. And let that go off. Should be right. Let that dry off. This is where your reasonably stupid host cut in the wrong place. The idea of this is I'm going to spread some contact adhesive by means of a Q-tip or a cotton bud, whatever you want to call it, behind the cut. And I can see where the Q-tip or the cotton bud, if you prefer, is rubbing around in there. I'll give it a bit more. And we should be in a pretty good position to whack a patch in. This is the little patch here. And I'm going to do the same thing to that. God, maybe I got too much on there. And just let it go off, with the idea of pushing it in and gluing the thing shut. Now, that's how it's going to work in an ideal world. Whether it does or not is a different thing, but hopefully we can get it wrinkle free, and I can just put a little bit of colour, and therefore it should be really unnoticeable. But I don't want something that some kid can stick his finger in, or adult for that matter, like my son, he would do that, making it worse than what it is. So I was going to let that go off for a little bit longer, because it's still very liquidy, and then we'll come back and glue the thing in. Alright, I've zoomed in. Hope that's in focus. It looked like it was. This is going to be difficult because I need to open that up and get it in without it sticking to anything until I'm ready to put it on. And it's already sticking to all sorts of things it's not meant to. Right. Crap. It's not in the right spot. There we go. Okay, Houston, we have a problem. Get out of there. It's the wrong bloody way around. What I want to do is flick it about on top of that. And I got it. Good. Okay, hang on a sec. Yep, that's it. Okie dokie. Right. Right. Got it all back together. You can still see a slight scar there. But I'm alright with that. I'm cool with that. I think we might go and get that parcel tray. I've got it outside at the moment. We've got the parcel tray here. I'm just going to flex him as I can. I just hope it doesn't break. I'll get in. There we go. And just rest that down here somewhere. Now I've got to cut a bit of the headlining, but I haven't got these plugs in. Why haven't I got those plugs? I have to drill holes and put those little securing plugs in. I think it goes back a bit. It goes something like that. Where is it? No, I'll have to drill for those, but that's all good. I'm quite happy with that. It's not the best finish because I ran out of paint. Rightio, there's before we put the fuel tank in, a couple of jobs I want to do. One is filling the rear axle. It's a little baby Borgie. Yeah, it should be 9-inch, but 9 inches is stupid money. So I decided not to for now. So I might just, this might take a while, I might just tie something onto there so I can just pour oil in while I go and do other things, eh? That's the, I don't know if you can see that, that's the spare wheel mount for the long range tank car, which is what this is. I might just pop it up through, is that a blown hole? Yeah, we just fill it up until it falls out. Unboxing videos are pretty stupid. We've got the shocks here. What do we got? I'm just going to take these things off. This bad. Let's compress it a bit. Take the cap off, and the shock will return to its normal length. They're bad. They're quite well packaged actually. Also came with a couple of bags of mounting hardware. There's some of the changes there. So I think we'll go about throwing those in now. Oh, gee. Right. Shockers. Oh, the rubbers. Yeah, the rubbers. Alright. Flat washer. No, we'll do it at the top first. We'll stick in bits of stuff on. I'm just going to get my airline out the way. The bolts are horrendously tough to get to. Well, not tough to get to, but they're tight to sort of do up. Hang on a minute, let me get organised. Right. There it goes up there. And I've got a camera in the way. So what I might do is coming from here. Well, stick that up there. Get another flat washer, which is that one there. Put that there, put a rubber there. Squeeze it up. These are nitrogen filled ones. They're supposed to be good Aussie ones. Not sure how good they are. Where are the nuts? There's the nut. Well, the shockers are in. Looks rather good. Took the parcel tray out just to tidy up some of the paint on it. And as I pulled the jack out, the handle fell and smashed the parcel tray, which is bad. So it looks like I'm going to be making another one after all. Right, so I want to put these seats in for now to get them out of the study because Susie's not appreciating it. These what do they call them, spacers? There's a couple of things. There are 2 lengths of bolt that hold the runner onto the seat frame. Normally they're short, these are long ones. And there were sort of big nuts holding the runners to or spacing the runners, sorry, from the seat frame and the fairlane I pulled apart. These are from an XD Fairmont gear, the plastic ones. And they basically fit between the runner and the seat frame now. Jason's retrimmed these. I know there's a hole there. This macro suede stuff is hugely tough. There it is there. So I'm going to have to cut it in order to fit the seat on. This stuff isn't original Fairmont, obviously, Fairmont GXL, but it is so incredible because you can see how tough it is. I couldn't break through it with a screwdriver. There we go. You actually have to cut the stuff. So this runner is going to go like that. So I'm just going to pop a spacer there and a bolt. These haven't been cleaned up yet, these runners. They're fairly clean, but they're not spotless. And we should have them spotless. So I'm just going to put them in. I'm just going to move this runner back, just so I can reach this end. And the fabric's so thick, it will bind up in the thread. Like it'll get in the thread and sort of bind it up. So it'll move it to this side to get it in. Now these traditionally have a curtain on them to get in there. Has that started? Feels a bit raspy, but we're going. Yeah, there's normally a sort of a curtain that drops down to hide the runner. I haven't got those made up. They're not a difficult thing to make, but I want to make sure that I'm just going to put it all in here. It's all got to come out when we get carpet and put the doors in and all that sort of stuff. But this will keep them out of harm's way and, you know, clean the house out, which is what I need to do. There's also a spring I need to put on. Be interesting to see how high I sit in it, because the seats have all been repatterned. I've got these height things in, these spaces, and the XW is brilliant because that was re-trimmed. Jason did that too, and you sit beautifully in it, nice and high. You can see everything around you. There's a spring that goes on here too. Where does it go? It goes between there and down there. It's a big one. So then what we'll do is we'll move that back to give it the most lax position and put that spring on. And as I said, I mean, it's rudimentary fit. Where did I see it? Oh, it's there. It's all a big rudimentary fit. I'm going to go the other way. But, I'll go that way. But it's, let's want to see how it all goes. So if I pull that, that should pull back. And that should go back. And I'll just drop that in the cab. The next thing is this part here, which is the squab. It pivots on there. There's normally an E-clip there. And on this part here, there's the recliner. Now, this is going to be tricky. Oh dear, I'm going to have to take that off to get the recliner on, which is a bit of a pain. Didn't really want to because Jason's already done it all, you see, but I need to put those recliner mechanisms. There's two bolts that sit inside there, and where I can get to one there, I can't get to the other, so I have to take that off. I just hope I can get it the way he had it. I'll get a screwdriver and start to muck around with it. He did such a good job with this. It's just something that I really don't really want to mess with, because there's only a certain amount of times you can bend these things too before they break off. There we go, there we go, there we go. We've got those off. There's a listing wire there. So all I need to do is peel this back a little bit. Just let me see if I can see before I show you, because I need to know what I'm doing, you see. There's a zip there. They're the ones I supplied. Sweet. There we go. There's little suckers there. So we'll go and get the recliner and put it on. She's really laughing in there. My daughter. That's a good thing though. If she's laughing, she's happy. And that's like cracking the pooies about anything. Can you see here? No, you can't see there. So what about here? Right. Okay, so these little bastards go there. And that's going to be like that. The seat frames on this, the XW ones, were horrendously difficult to get. So I ended up getting really bad ones, and then Jason rebuilt them. These ones, $10 I bought one for, or 99 cents or something stupid like that, and they were just in peachy condition. And the temporary seat I had in it before, it just did so well, you know. There's never an issue with it. So if we pop that and then re-stitch or re-join the trim, then we can add this to the car. I'm wrapped actually because I found pale green carpet. It's only in classic loop. There's two types of cut. There's the classic cut and there's the really extra long cut, and that's what these had. They had like almost a shag pile, a huge thick carpet in them. And there's I don't think it's a complete carpet. There's a new old stocker on eBay for $600. I don't know what it is, but it's a lot of money. Right. Oh, great. That's bloody handy, isn't it? That was done. I better put that back on. This one went like that. But how the heck did that go? That goes over the top. Oh, the zip tucks in on itself. Hang on a second. I see what he did. He did that. Clean after. I've got to get the full feel of it. I've only got bolts in the front. Hang on. Where's the seat? Oh, here. Oh. Oh, that's really cool. That is so cool. I have to be a bit closer, I think. I drive like a granny. That's reverse. I'm still going to work on that. Lock out. Gosh, that is so comfortable. That's really cool. I like it. That's lovely. Truth, I'm happy with it. Awesome. Easiest way of sticking these in is in two halves. I'm just gonna go in here and line up that pivot like that. And I've sort of poked holes where I know the things are, where I know the threads are. And these washers sort of go behind. Something like that. Don't bring a screwdriver to line them up, but anyhow, they go. Hang on a second, just let me get it. Fail. Get it where I need it to be. Maybe it's better if I do it from this angle. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so I mean, it's all going to come out again, but this camera's in the way. I'm just going to pop that in there, finding the hole. They're 7 centimeters apart. There it is there, I think. Yeah, that's it. Alright, now I've got some hope of getting that in. I think I've got it now. Just going to nip this up a little bit, which is pushing against the pivot on the other side. And it'll also give me a little bit of resistance here so I can pop that washer in without it falling out. That's reasonably tight there. Oops. So then hopefully I can feed that under and it'll stay where I put it. Like that. Hang on, up a bit more. Square it up with the screw stick and whack it in. So that should start around here somewhere. One of the problems I found with this macro suede is it's exceedingly thick fabric and it gets in the threads and makes things a little bit difficult. Is that going in? Yeah, that's going in. But you need to put the washer behind there because then it'll space it properly like that. So I'm just going to nip that up now. And I reckon really it's easier doing it this way than it is putting the seat in as a whole, because you sort of tend to drag these long bolts against the thing here. There we go. Good. Just got to clean it up a little bit, but otherwise we're good. Right, well, this is the seat that caused all the trouble. This is the one I cut the frame on and made the Fairmont back seat out of a Fairlane one and a Falcon 500 one. and Jason had a heck of a lot of trouble trimming it. And it's absolutely beautiful. The problem with it is though, it might be too thick in this area here, because I forgot to tell him that the Fairland padding was different. I just ended up taking a whole bunch of stuff around to his house and leaving it there, and he was the one that sort of came up with how it was going to be padded. So, I can cut that off. I might just clip that on. I've welded up 2 frame halves, you can see there. So the Falcon was thinner in this area here, so it fitted around the wheel arch better, but I had a lot of trouble with it, and so did he. Right, so we're going to take this out. And this sits inside the seat. Something like this. And I've got to find the holes, which will then sort of fit in there somewhere. So I'm just going to go and look for the correct fastener, and I'll be back. Right. Well, I found them. They're 1/4 inch course. What do I do with these? One of them's missing its captive nut. It's not that one. That one's going to be alright. I think it's this one here. So we can just pop one there. And I think it's got to be moved around a bit just to line it up, but I'll put a flat washer, a lock washer and a nut on the back of it, which is pretty easy to access, and it'll do. Actually, I was joking when I said it was pretty easy. Oh no, I've got it. Alright, so that's cool. So if I can slide that to where there's marks in them where it was, and I'll just flick it over and have a look. It looks fairly good the way it is there. Actually, I can't do that yet. I've got to use a spanner on it. But I can do these ones. Bearing in mind I still have to tighten that one. I'll be able to tell by looking at it from the other side. And that looks pretty dandy there. I think that's fine. I'm happy with that. So I'll tighten that up and I'll just put a patch of material over the back. Then of course we've just got the offcuts of fabric. So we have to find a bit, it's going to lock there, and just cut a piece off that's going to sit over the back there, so when you fold the seat down you see that, you don't see the boot insulation panel, which incidentally I haven't made yet. Just got a frightened thought I might have put this the wrong way because the writing's sideways. That's it there, Warwick macro suede. But it actually goes that way, so it's the same as the Seaver, so we're all good. So we'll just go around and do this and get this thing knocked out in the car. I am worried about the fit though, because this was the one that was just so problematic. What's going on here? There we go. She's playing music, so I'm going to keep talking so we can't hear the music, because I don't want to get pinged for copyright. But I had to go inside before, put some trackies on. It was cold. That's sitting out too far, isn't it? That's how it's going to sit. I haven't got the brackets there yet, but you can see that's coming right out into the door opening, so that's going to have to be modified. That's a shame. The Falcon one is thinner. It's probably about 3 inches shorter inside the door frame, but it gives us some idea about what the thing's going to look like inside. This is a bit of a nerve-wracking experience. I'm poking a hole, and I just hope I get it right, because the last time I did this, I screwed it up. And you can't hide this. When you bugger this bit up, you can't hide it. So it's just horses for courses, really, if you do it well. Here we go that way. Alright, so it has to go. I have to struggle with this. Well, it's only a bit of a sneak peek of what things are going to look like. You can see that interior light's in up there. Wrinkling wise, we're pretty good. We've got one there which is going to pull out with a handle, and the rest of it looks pretty damn good. I'm happy with that. Over here we've got yet to put that light in there. That repair up there looked pretty good. I'm not worried about that anymore. And you can see I've got the map lights on because it looks pretty swish. It almost looks like an LTD inside. Now, I kept going hot and cold with this stuff because it's not really Fairmont GXL. I've got to clean that off. But it's missing a sort of a panel along here. I'm going to incorporate that in the door trim, the same as the original GXLs had, which is just a very simple plain door trim with a kind of a strap right along with two chrome fittings. So I have to find, I've got some good door cards and metals and all that sort of stuff, but I need to find some really trashy GXL door trims so I can have them retrimmed. This I might have to revisit. That's sticking out a little bit too far for my liking. Having said that, with the door closed, I don't think I'll even see it. But it is looking pretty good. Pardon me, quite happy with it. So, you can just see, you'll probably see a bit of it in the quarter window. I don't know what to do. I don't want to ask Jason again because he did so well with it. But anyway, look, that'll do for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care of your classic. Drive safely. I'll see you around. Yeah. Yeah, I am pretty happy with it, I must say.